Welcome to the second episode of what is now going to become a series where we look at good and bad eBay listings. I had a ton of fun last time. It seems like you guys really enjoyed it, so let's get into another round. I know that most people right now are talking about the new iPhones, but you know what? I have come across a number of really interesting eBay listings that make me want to put my face in the ground, so I got to talk about them. Today's video is sponsored by RenderForest, an online platform where all your design tools are in one place. Whether you need to spice up a pitch deck, school presentation, or YouTube video, you can find tools to suit your project. It takes just a few moments to create a stunning animation with RenderForest. It's as simple as customizing elements, colors, transitions, and more to fit exactly what you need, with literally dozens of templates featuring tons of customization, as well as aspect ratios for vertical and square video formats. RenderForest offers all the flexibility you need. Their simple and dynamic editing tool allows you to make adjustments quickly and logically with a clear layout and real-time previews of your content, as well as easily allowing you to render and download in a wide range of resolutions up to 4K. Right now, if you check out the description down below, you can save 20% off subscription plans valid until October 31st. So definitely go ahead and check that out and get started today. And now, let's get back to the video. So first up for you guys, I've got this 21.5-inch iMac, which is a little bit weird to me. So I'm trying to figure out what exactly we're looking at. First of all, you can see this is an edited photo because those bezels don't make any sense. The rear photo and side photo are what concerns me. This looks like the old fat side iMac from before 2012. I don't know what this picture is. And that, like, what I don't know what I'm looking at here. So let's try to do a little bit of detective work here and figure out if this seller is really trying to sell a 12-year-old iMac for $400. So straight away here we see top offer, very good grade, warranty tested, restored, and sanitized. What was it, covered in piss? I don't get this. Scrolling down here, I can already tell what we're gonna find, and yeah, right at the top here, we send you an iMac with the best operating system, free Microsoft Office and Logic Pro X, and you can add programs like Photoshop, GarageBand, and more for a low fee. So that's almost certainly pirated software, and that's great. That's really great. You're spending $400 for a computer with, a Core i5 2400S. So that's from 2011. And remember, this thing has an AMD Radeon HD 6750M with only half a gig of VRAM, and that was from AMD's not so great era in 2011. Those 6000 series graphics in all Apple products that came out that year are just terrible. They fail all the time. So you're spending $400 on an 11-year-old time bomb full of illegal software. That's great. Yeah. What a steal, literally. So to give you an idea of just how bad a deal that is, we should probably figure out how much I should actually be paying for that iMac. And the easiest way to do that is to go over here, do a quick search just for iMac, no text filters, because those are gonna end up with scammy listings. We're gonna go into the filters, we're gonna go down to GPU, and we're going to select the AMD Radeon HD 6750M, the same exact GPU that you would find there. So straight ahead, right on top, we find the listing we were just looking at, but if we scroll down a little bit, you'll start to find, look, here's the exact same thing, less RAM and hard drive, but this is $150. And if you want to get an idea of what people are actually paying for them, we definitely want to go and look in sold listings, and you'll find a lot of low prices. Unfortunately, someone was suckered into it and just a couple days ago bought the unfortunately mislabeled iMac there. This guy only paid $27 for one. Wow, a lot of these are selling for under $100. That is legitimately insane. It's a big business on eBay, essentially tricking people into paying more for old tech, because if you make your listing look good and you say warranty, people think, oh, that's great. If something breaks, they'll fix it. That is almost unenforceable. I would highly doubt that you would actually be able to fill a warranty claim, and if you did, it would probably be very difficult, and it wouldn't be worth it because you've already paid so much for that product that by the time they replace what is realistically a $50 part, you could have just done it yourself. But more to the point, I wouldn't even be buying a 2011 iMac, because for a $400 budget, let's say, if that's where we're looking, I could pretty easily find us something a little bit newer. So we'll just look up iMac and we'll just go down here and we'll go to processor, and I'm just gonna choose Core i7 3rd generation, and we'll see what we can find for that. And already, look at this, the much better Fusion Drive equipped 2012 version with the slim design for $200. That took 2 seconds of work. When it comes to buying stuff on eBay, it's pretty hard to get actually legitimately scammed, but you can get ripped off and pay more than you should. So be diligent, make sure that you find out what the computer is that you're looking at and look up other examples of it to make sure you can find the best deal. Another area where people will try to pull one over on you is for Mac Pros. So if we just go ahead and look up Mac Pro, I think what you're gonna find is a lot of very suspect listings. So we do actually have a number of these late 2013 trash can Mac Pros that are getting cheaper and cheaper. Here's one for $400 when, you know, a year or a year and a half ago, that would have probably been $900 or $1,000. But now that the Mac Studio is here, thankfully things are starting to come down a little bit. However, it's very important that when you're looking at these things, you keep in mind what you're actually looking at. Because, like, let's take, for example, this listing. Now, this is an auction, and it's got 6 days left. So this is probably going to go quite a bit higher than $400. But this is pretty much a loaded trash can Mac Pro. We've got the 12 core, 64 gigs of RAM, 1 terabyte SSD. So this is pretty much as powerful as these things will get. I can see here we even have the D700 graphics. I have one of these machines, and realistically, it is significantly slower than even a base model 14-inch MacBook Pro. Or honestly, you can probably compete with this thing with an M2 MacBook Air. But that knowledge hasn't necessarily percolated to everyone that's shopping for computers on eBay. For whatever reason, a lot of the older Intel Macs tend to have this weirdly inflated price when they have good specs, even though they're, 6 to 9 years old. And nowhere is that more true than with the cheese grater Mac Pros. Like, for example, this one, which has dual X5680s. We've got 32 gigs of RAM and 512 gigabyte SSD plus a hard drive and an RX 560. This is not a very powerful machine at the end of the day. We're talking about a 12 or 13-year-old Mac here with essentially a Core 2 Duo times 6. That's basically what those old Xeons are like, and in terms of their single core performance, they are extremely old and slow. Now, don't get me wrong, these old cheese graters can be great if they're cheap, but when you're spending $600 for a machine that has a fraction of the power that you would get in a Mac Mini for the same price with an M1 chip, but this thing is massive, consumes a ton of electricity, has a bunch of fans, and it's just worse in every way. So, frankly, we are getting to a point where the cheese grater Mac Pros from 2009 and 2010, honestly, I think they have limited utility. Unless they're really, really, really cheap, then honestly, there's no reason to get one, especially when the M1 exists. I mean, look at this. Renewed base model M1 for $526. So that is like $75 cheaper than the 12-year-old trash can here, which has worse graphics, worse CPU performance, more RAM, but it's really slow, so that's worse as well. Why would you buy this? There is one thing that you definitely should buy, and that is, of course, this magnificent MacBook Pro that belonged to Genghis Khan of the Mongol Empire. I mean, look at that. It's got his picture on it, so it must be true. Look at that. We've got Genghis Khan's skin grease in the ports. That is just magnificent. Genghis Khan's personal stickers on the lid, and Genghis Khan actually looks like he has eaten all 4 of the feet on the bottom of that MacBook. And there he is, look, playing games on the Mac. So what more do you need? Now this is interesting because he also has Genghis Khan's charger and can include it. So you have a chance here to snap this up before it goes to a private auction. I think honestly that's a pretty great deal for the low price of $8,049, but with free shipping, it's hard to argue with that. So that's going to do it for today's episode. I'm curious to know what you guys thought of some of the listings from this video in the comments below, and also let me know what you would like me to do some research on for the next video. And with that, make sure to leave a like down below. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.